Come in.
So, guys, it is Halloween time, and I wanted to go over some of the scary horror Halloween episodes of Star Trek, okay? So now we have Sub Rosa from Next Generation, and this is a divisive one, to be sure. It divides fans. Is it really so bad, or is it misunderstood or even good? Let's dive right into Sub Rosa. So, let's get it out of the way. This is Star Trek, but it's really horror, right? It's horror, even gothic romance. Now, if you list Star Trek horror, scary episodes, it's a pretty short list. There's not many. I do always love them usually, okay? Another horror episode is Night Terrors, Next Gen, with Troy floating around in the dream world, Night Terrors. So and that's another, hated one, or it's certainly, low on the fan favorite list. So it seems that Star Trek's horror outings, from my experience, aren't very popular. But as a horror fan myself, I usually love them. I usually do. So let's get into it, because that's what this is. It's horror. It's meant to scare, unsettle. It's not meant to find strange new worlds and seek out. Though I guess Ronin could be looked upon as sort of a strange entity, right? So another reason I think it might be not as popular, it's got no space battles, right? No real action. Now, there are other episodes, sure, without space battles or intense action. But I'm thinking this could be another reason the episode is sort of, hated or not as much liked. There's only really some action at the end. And by that time, you either love the episode or loathe it, right? You either are with Beverly's little romantic journey or not. So it's kind of flat. It's talky. I mean, it's basically a gothic horror romance, right? It's sort of a romance novel, gothic horror. So while that's a bit weird for Star Trek, to me, it's really a fun sort of Halloween or just scary episode, right? I mean, there's not many, and I tend to like them, and this one, not too shabby. All right. It's our Beverly. It's our doctor. So I'm thinking, I rewatched it the other day, fans are very protective of the Enterprise crew, and perhaps more so when it's a female crew member. And I'm thinking, if this episode had been Waxana Troy or Ensign Ro, if they were being targeted by Ronin, maybe the fans wouldn't be so critical. Because this is our Beverly, our main cast member. Ronin is arguably making a fool out of Beverly, enslaving her. He's making her a victim, attacking. It's weird and hard to watch. But then how much different is he from a vampire, right? That's what kept going through my mind, vampiric. If you really want to define him, though, I was thinking he's really an incubus. And that's defined as a demon or monster or entity being which physically attacks and even rapes women in their sleep. And then for a man, it would be a succubus. So Ronin is pretty much an incubus. Okay, and that's very traditional horror, gothic, scare story, scare fare there, okay? So instead of blood, like a vampire drawing blood, he draws energy and for his sustenance. But he's still exploiting and damaging his victim, his host, Beverly in this case, right? So for many fans, I think they can't bear to see their Dr. Beverly exploited and attacked, in such a manner. And I kind of cringe in a way too, but that's horror. It's unsettling. That would be like in Dracula, Mina or Lucy, them getting bitten or, otherwise compromised. Now, in terms of incubus, I know there are movies and books, and sure, I can't really, there's the incubus, there's that one main one, but I think more of vampires, but he's really an incubus. So, it's physically graphic, okay? There's no way around this. In several scenes, Beverly is attacked or seduced by Ronin, and it's really pretty graphic, for what they could get away with at the time. It's clear that Dr. Crusher is literally experiencing orgasms as Ronin overwhelms her with his alien powers and strange energy-draining ability. Even in 10 Forward, there's a scene with Troy and Beverly. Beverly tells Deanna Troi about her first dream with Ronin. It's clear she's experiencing pleasure, orgasms. She tells Troy that he whispered my name and he knew exactly how I'd like to be touched. much to Troy's wide-eyed shock and delight. So it's a very adult and graphic moment. I would think one of the most graphic and adult moments on Star Trek. Again, what they could get away with for the time in the 90s. This was 94, 7th season. And it's clear that Beverly is enjoying Ronin in a very physical, pleasurable way. So wrapping up, why do I like it and not loathe it? All right. So first of all, there are some flaws for me. I do think they should have introduced Ronin to Beverly earlier on. He comes in about 25 minutes or so. I think he should have taken human form much earlier. Well, you see him in the beginning at the funeral, but he's just there quick. When he actually starts to be a physical form, it's, again, 25 minutes or so. I think if he was, introduced earlier to her in human form, it would have been more of a bonding, interesting. As it is then, too, the B plot, it ties him with the planetary weather control tech. It's boring. I mean, I guess it was needed, but it's just distracting. You just want to get back to Ronin and Beverly and the beautiful, Scottish cottage and that whole landing. That whole production value of that episode is beautiful. And if you look at the 7th season, because they were gearing up for Generations, for the movie, for the feature film, most of the sets, I remember, they said they, polished over and made them more movie ready, movie screen, cinema ready. So everything, and then the Scottish cottage of her Nana and all that is really beautifully done, the lighting and such. So while this is no masterpiece for me, I would say it's not even a great episode, but it's a fun, guilty pleasure. And I think that overwhelmingly, as I said, that it's more that it's Beverly, our doctor, being exploited and enslaved, and people don't want to watch that, like a vampire, an incubus vampire. But that's horror, okay? And as we know, she gets him in the end. I always hate spoiling, but watch the episode if you haven't. And she gets him in the end. So there is a complete retribution. So in the end, do we believe, though, that Ronin loved the Howard women? He even loved Beverly. He screams, "I love them all," and all. Well, is he just a creature trying to dupe and fully, seduce Beverly and as his victim, as he did, her Nana and all the other Howard women? You decide. I think one of the real secret weapons is, Duncan Rieger. The huge draws to me is the gothic horror setting that truly, is effective with the sets and the atmosphere, and the actor, Duncan Rieger. He's really, truly the secret weapon. Without a strong actor, I doubt that Sub Rosa would be as powerful. All credit to him. And so with all the other flaws, and there are, I think he brings it home. And also, of course, Gates McFadden. It's a great turn and roll. She might not have liked it ultimately, and everyone says they hate it, but really good pathos and drama and, sadness and torture in a way. So there you go. Horror episode, not many like them. I usually do. What do you think? Give us your thoughts. Give us your feedback. Hope you're enjoying. Hope you're subscribing. See you soon.